I'm going to take a page out of Tarantino's book and jump ahead. The bike is basically done. I'm going to go back over what I did and tips and tricks and trouble that I ran into, changes that I made. So we're going to cover all of that. But I was very anxious to get the bike on the road, as of course you could probably imagine. I did get it on the road yesterday, which I'm glad. You can see, obviously, it's wet outside. It's going to be raining today. So, I was really glad to get it on the road yesterday. The performance is amazing. It basically halves the acceleration times. It pushed through 60 miles an hour yesterday. I don't care to go 60 miles an hour, but I really wanted to see for myself what this kit could do. It makes the bike so much more enjoyable for me. It makes it so much easier to ride. I really love the fact that I can tool around in the driveway like I'm on a bicycle. I really enjoy the simplicity and the responsiveness. I'm really happy with it. There's a few things I still need to address, like, for example, putting the LED bulbs in the signal lights caused the flasher to stop working because of a resistance difference. Retrospective has already given me a recommendation of a new flasher I can buy that's available, I believe, on Amazon, so it'll be very easy to get. But right now the signals work because I still have the bulbs in. Got the LED in the front. And I'm just going to basically take you on a walk around and show you everything that I did and possibly give you a heads up on things that you might run into along the way. And also some changes that I made and some more changes I'm planning on making. Status update. We have a new tub, uncracked, sent very promptly from Retrospective Scooters. Also, Niall over there noticed that he had spec'd the wrong brake cable. So we've got a new brake cable he also sent along. So I appreciate that from Niall over at Retrospective Scooters. Niall spells his name Niall. I thought I might start the video with something interesting. I'm going to try to keep the clips much shorter today. Some of the obvious stuff that's just easy to do for scooter owners, for Vespa owners, I'm just going to leave out. So I'm going to do a lot more crisp video, hopefully, today. You may notice my new rig here. I have a new camera I'm hoping it's one of those 360 cameras, which basically gets a lot of video and then you frame what you want. I'm hoping to get much better close-up shots with it. We're going to have to see. It's kind of a pain with the editing and understanding all of it, but it's been fun. So here we go. Okay, first thing you might see is that we seem to have skipped a step. Really, I put the swing arm on. I did film it, not sure I'm going to put it in the video. It's really just two bolts, the long bolt for the swing arm, another bolt for the shock. I did have some trouble getting the shock to attach. I think that might be something peculiar to the Stella line of scooters or peculiar to the shock, but it just did not want to fit on. It was just probably 1/8 of an inch too small. And so I had to take a little bit of material out with a grinder to get the shock to attach, but no big deal there. What we're going to work on first is we're going to be putting this starboard side or right side battery box on with the controller. So the throttle cable and the clutch cable, which I'm going to replace with new ones they sent me, are going to go to this control box for, of course, turning the mechanical throttle pull into an electrical signal, and also the kill switch is going to go into this box. So I'm going to go ahead and watch our Retrospectives video real quick, and we'll get to mounting this. Okay, here we are with the final fitment. I unfortunately had to make quite a few mods to get this to work. So I slotted out the, I made the slot bigger to try to move the box forward a little bit, which I was able to do but that wasn't quite enough. It's that basically the indentation here is not deep enough. So I also cut some material out of the back of the box. Um, so, I wasn't real happy about having to do that. I put some silicone on it, made a little bit of a hole. Then I had to bend the back tab a bunch, and that's not looking great either, but at least we have the fitment. So the most important thing that I had to have happen was it had to be level, and this washer and nut had to go on the axle bolt very tightly and very, it had to be flat and tight to the surface. I couldn't have it bent there. So that is everything I did. I think I'm pretty close to getting a fitment now. Okay, we're all mounted up. I just wanted to go over the control box for a minute here. So the throttle cable is going to come in through this hole, and it's going to connect to this basically rheostat. And as it pulls, it's going to demand more power from the battery. And then the kill switch is actually kind of interesting. I'm glad I tested this because it actually is, you have to set and reset it, meaning, so once you pull the clutch, you killed it, okay? And it's not going to reset as soon as you let loose of the clutch. You have to hit the clutch again, reset it. So here's something I haven't seen in any of the videos. We got to pull the new cables for the throttle and the kill switch through the same path as the old throttle cable. We can't use the clutch cable. It's going through a different path, and they don't meet. So I've got to pull this up through the backbone of the bike. And a little anxious right now. I've pulled a lot of wires in my life, and I've lost a lot of wires. So I'm going to get some Vaseline and make sure I give it every chance to go smoothly. So this is the control box I mangled the name of earlier. Basically, it has the throttle there, and it has the kill switch here. They give you new cables to pull through. I probably could have gotten away with keeping the old accelerator cable or throttle cable, but I decided to go with the new one. The clutch cable that's activating the kill switch definitely needed to be replaced. So I pulled both of these through. It was a little frustrating, but I got them through eventually. The throttle works just great. It has, at least in my test drive yesterday, it's kind of like dead for the first eighth of an inch or quarter of an inch. There's nothing happening. That may be on purpose for safety's sake, because remember, this thing is basically in gear all the time. I will tell you a major change that I made, though. I did not like the cable actuated kill switch. You can hear it. It basically sets and resets. So once you pull the cable once, you've killed the power. And once you click it again, you've reactivated it. So that's a well thought out switch. But I did not. I just didn't like depending on a cable to basically kill the power. I think the kill switch is probably the most important thing on the bike. If the throttle gets stuck open for some reason and you're grabbing for a ton of brakes, you really want to kill the motor at the same time. So what I did is I pulled a new cable and hooked it up electronically to what used to be the high beam switch. So sacrificing the high beam is a lot less of a priority. The high beam is much less of a priority to me than the kill switch, which is the most important switch on the bike. I like this better, so that's the way that I did it. That's just you know, my idea to do it. But if you want to keep the kill switch or back it up with this, as a matter of fact, you could do that. Yeah. So over on the left side here, not a whole lot going on. We see the battery holder and the battery here on the left side. Um, There was, if you remember from previous videos, there was a whole standoff and holder here for the old battery, the starter battery, basically. Um, and I wasn't sure how much to cut away, and basically cut it all the way back to the bike. And Niall over at Retrospective, he seemed pretty disappointed with me on that. I apparently wasn't supposed to cut that much away, but I was able to make it work. Basically, just drilled a few more holes in the actual battery pan bracket, and just made them match up and made it level, and attached it, I think, at 4 points on the body. So I don't think it's going anywhere. I do. The batteries are awfully low. I matched this one to the other side, so they sit so low that you can see them below the cowls, left and right side cowls, which it's kind of cool that you can see the Retrospective logo right here. Um, and I think is also good because, of course, the lower you can get the weight on any kind of bike or motorcycle or even cars, the lower you can get the weight, it's always better. So I'm pretty happy with that. Next, we'll look under the seat. It's a bit of a mess, but I'm going to be working on cleaning that up. So here's the underseat pan or tub that you get, so you can have a little bit of storage take along with you, which is something that this bike has actually never had. That space was occupied by the gas tank and the oil tank before, so that's a little bit of a gain. We have some charging. We have a charging uh, connection right here, and then we have the battery meter. So if we turn the bike on, it's probably not going to film well because it's LED. But right now it's showing to be 97% and at 83 volts. Um, it's pretty high for a 72-volt battery, but as a percentage, it's probably about the same as a 12-volt reading 13.5, which is not unusual. So yeah, that's what you get under the seat. The thing that I'd really love to change, and this is regardless of whether it's electric or gas, is I'd really not like to have to take off 5 bolts. You can see they're not even all on right now because I've been, basically testing and checking and things like that. I'd rather not take off 5 bolts, including taking off the entire seat every time that I need to get under it, because there's a lot of stuff under the seat. It's all electronic. It's all, pretty much solid state. There's nothing really moving, but at the same time, I'm still going to have to keep a 13 socket and a uh, ratchet with me when I go on trips, because you never know, something could get loose under the seat, maybe a connector or something like that. So I'd love to have some kind of quick disconnect system to get under this tub. So this is what it looks like under the seat right now. It's still a bit of a mess. I really need to do some cleanup. I have to tell you that I have worked for well over 25 to 30 years in the low voltage electronics industry, and I've never been great at dressing a panel. Anybody will tell you that, but I'm going to do a better job here because I really need to get some more space available down there. The tub kind of has to be wrenched in there to fit right now. So I'm going to be working on that. Here's the connection to the battery meter on the left side of your picture, and the charging port on the right side. Um, A little bit about charging. Very little information or experience yet, but yesterday it charged from 44% to 100% in about, I want to say, about 3 hours. It could have been faster. I just got home after 3 hours and it was at 100%. So I'm pretty happy with the charging as well. I'm going to take the tub off, disconnect these two, and then get into it a little bit more. Yeah, so I'm going to try to explain this mess here. It's absolutely my mess. So no hit on retrospective. They give you the control box. They explain all of the inputs and outputs, and you got to figure out how to wire it up neatly, which obviously I haven't yet. This is the control box over here, of course, and I have not even opened that. I don't want to get into that. Everything's working fine. Um, but to explain some of the connections that might help you later if you decide to do this. So this connection right here is from the accelerator kill switch box that I showed you earlier. There's a wire that goes around the back of it. That's probably the sensor information sending into the controller right there. You can see the two extras here that were for the kill switch that I'm not using. I'll probably just tape that up, make sure it doesn't touch anything, but it's a dead wire going to another end that's dead, so no big deal there. This wire here is the yellow and, or actually it's green and yellow and black are the kill switch, and that's where I decided to pull a second wire up to the front of the bike uh, for my kill switch. I thought it'd be difficult, but retrospective has been real helpful. As a matter of fact, they were on a video call with me yesterday morning for at least a half an hour, 45 minutes, helping me with some of the questions that I had. So this is the wire I pulled up to the front. Now, one of the suggestions that that retrospective had and some of the help that they gave was uh, pulling out the plastic that is, there's a plastic floor pan right in there at the bottom of the bike. And once you pull that out, you get much better access to the wires that are running underneath there. Also, pulling off the brake, which you have to do anyway to get the new brake cable on, from the bottom, you also get another window into the passageway for the wires. So it's much easier to pull the wires. Basically, that wire got pulled through, and also pulled a second wire through. So um, over here is the second wire. No, that I didn't technically pull through. I used an existing pair before I knew that I could pull a wire through. But this is a second pair that I have going up to the front, which is going to be for the battery meter. This is for the battery meter in the seat right here, and this is a second one that I pulled through for the battery meter in the seat. So I'm gonna parallel those, and basically I've got a battery meter up front now that I'm obviously gonna mount a little bit better, but it's just sitting there. Um, and it's waiting for me to figure out how I want to mount it. But for now, it's in the glove box, so I can kind of get at it a little bit quicker to see where my battery level is. So this connector here is whatever it is. It's just it's a matching connector with the box. So obviously you can't screw that up. This one is separate, unused connector there. Um, Then, of course, you have the high voltage right here. This box covers the connector right there. The cover wouldn't really stay on, so I wire tied it. I really don't want that to come off. That's the high voltage, 72 volts with a very high current uh, capability is not something you want to be touching for sure. So this wire here is the DC voltage to everything the bike needs. Blue being negative. Um, so once you figure out which wires in the loom provide the DC voltage to basically everything, it's a pretty easy connection. Um, I would say if you have a wiring diagram from Vespa, I would ignore it. it's completely confusing. They repeat the color usage over and over and over in their loom. So basically, a yellow wire here is different than a yellow wire there. Um, so I would just pull the loom up and watch uh, the video from Retrospective Scooters. They do a little bit of explanation on it, but it's basically you hunt and peck with a 12-volt battery until you figure out which wires are providing the 12 volts to uh, the whole bike. There's a few little other connections I had to make sure the horn was working and the signals, but it was really pretty basic DC wiring, so there was no problem there. Okay, the last thing I can think of to talk about is the brake, foot brake or rear foot brake connection. So, yeah, that's hardly complicated. Got to do some adjustment to get it just right, and of course, bleed the brakes. I had to have this connector here to make this connection to the actual lever that pulls on the that pumps the brake fluid from the master cylinder. So yeah, really not much to the brakes. It's just just messing around till you get it right, bleeding it. Um, the brakes have gotten progressively better. The rear brake has gotten progressively better the more I've ridden it. It's broken in a little bit. So yeah, that's about it on installation.
This is a little mod I did with a piece of PVC, half inch and an elbow. I simply glued it in there where the key lock was previously. It had drilled it out, pulled the wire out there, the one I had pulled to the front of the bike, and it fit perfectly. I couldn't believe my luck there. Well, I've had a lot of fun with this project, and I've had a lot of fun creating these videos. I'll be making some videos in the future, hopefully about tool reviews and things like that, and hopefully they'll be a bit shorter, easier to digest. Thanks for watching, though.